Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight, an Awakening to Alternatives Forum. We have presented many different readers, and tonight we have as our guest Jeanette Pachota. Welcome, Jeanette.
Thank
Jeanette
you.
has had another career besides that as a reader. She has been a dancer, lead dancer, choreographer, and a teacher of dancing also. She has taught workshops and prepared programs in this country and also overseas. And I understand while living in the Bahamas that that's where you were introduced to tarot.
That's correct.
And so Jeanette practices tarot for herself and for clients as a way, one more tool of self-understanding. She has been a tarot reader the past 25 years. She now lives in her birthplace state, Rhode Island. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
And she has added, over the past 15 years, the rune stones. And we have never done for our viewers the rune stones, so I'm very eager to do that tonight, Jeanette. And our guest, Patti Toehill, who has a program on Eckankar, Religion of Light and Sound of God, on this same cable network. She is here as a client to get a reading, so welcome, Patti.
Thank you very much, both of you.
And Jeanette, what led you into doing the runes?
Actually, I studied the runes after a book came out. I see the book on your table by Ralph Blum, because I was actually working as a tarot reader. And I happened to notice this book and the stones. It was new to me. And it caught my eye and it caught my heart, and I started to study and touch them, because you can get the whole kit there, as you can see, with the stones
with
as
the
well.
stones, and you can even get the cards, rune cards,
Now,
and the
in those
interpretation.
days, you could only get the little kit with the stones. Now
And
the
I
cards
understand that you also have made your own stones. Is that right?
That's correct.
So the
I
stones
don't know
that
if the camera can see these, but
Right.
anyone can actually put the glyphs on river stones, or
these are the
any
cards.
beach
which are somewhat-
stone
The beach stone
would work.
In fact, my grandson beside the railroad track collected stones
Perfect.
and made his own glyphs. The train doesn't
Oh.
run anymore, of course.
Right. We also either carve them or wood burn them on pieces of wood.
All right, so now the rune stones differs though from the tarot in that it also is a self-reading more than the tarot is. Is that
I
correct?
should say so. It's more of an introverted thing. It's to access the unconscious, to find a wisdom within ourselves, perhaps through this. It is an alphabet. It's the old Teutonic tribes, and it's gone back to, I think, 200 AD. They found stones.
All right, so this is a
It's
long
ancient
history
tribes, yes.
of the ancient tribes using this for divination.
That's right.
And do you still interpret these in a similar way? I know we're in a more advanced civilization, at least we hope we are.
Yes.
But that would be the same kind of runes?
It's interesting that you asked that. Can I point? I
Yes,
hope?
certainly.
The alphabet itself, like our own ABCs, they have the F-U-T-H-A-R-K. It's called the Futhark, and they name their alphabets by the first few glyphs. So there are other ancient alphabets as well that are named different names that start with these letters and glyphs. The difference with the alphabet here, unlike ours, not only is there a letter involved here, but there's also a picture. It's an unspoken alphabet. They only carved these. They would take the branches and carve these marks in them. When Christianity took over, this was outlawed, so it went underground. It actually became more spiritual, mystical. The name itself means mystery. Secret.
So now when we look at this, the torch is the symbol, is that right?
That's correct.
But the torch
And the name Kano, which helps with the
stands-
K,
stands for this.
what we get in this raising of consciousness for our generation,
Okay.
the torch, the fire fresh starts, new beginnings, new
Okay.
doorways, self-confidence, fire, the chakra energy of movement.
All right, because fire in astrology, the fire signs are the initiators
That's right.
and the beginners, and they're also
Action.
spiritual. So that would
Cleansing.
be the new doorways and the going
Exactly,
forward.
going forward.
Okay.
So you can compare this. A lot of these are actually using Jupiter, some of the planets. As we learn more, I think we expand more.
Yes. And I see there's something for communication, there's something
Exactly,
for travel.
Exactly.
So it's what we need in our everyday life.
This one, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was thinking of yours with the strength. The wild ox was used with the tribesmen. The young boys had to go out to kill the wild ox.
Okay.
And that helped to feed everyone. But it was also very frightening. And they had to have courage, obviously, to go out and do
Right.
this. So it was like a passing,
So this is like a passing, like a rite of passage.
a rite of
A rite of
passage.
pa-
Yeah.
Now, this is for yourself or for a client, but is there any rules that the client has to know when you're reading for them? Do they bring something to it, I guess?
I think when anyone, whether we read for ourselves or we read for the public or a conglomerate or one other person, I think there has to be something happen between the reader and the client. And if I might turn this around, I think I've written down
All
some
right, that'll help.
responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
which it's not sort of show and tell, but in a way it is.
Yes.
The reader, for instance, a lot of people come to the reader and just expect incredibly miraculous things
That's
to happen.
right. I know that.
And the first responsibility of the reader is to be a credible person. They've either studied or they are open to learning or they're using their psychic ability. They should be trustworthy, whether there's a background on the person or perhaps just that they know them, that they're there to access something happening between the reader and the client. The accuracy rate, I feel for a reader, just to attune yourself to the client, to zoom in on them, lose your ego, not think of yourself. You're there for the client. You're there to oversee it. You're intuiting, but you're not dictating.
So if you care about them,
That's
you're
right,
going to be
Joan.
able to read for
That's
them.
right, and you must care. You must be there to access this intuition that comes out. Attunes to the relevant facts of the client. That really means the client would realize that the reader is actually picking up on something meaningful that relates to their life.
Okay.
Not just making things up, and because all of us have issues.
Right.
But it should be the issue of the person that's sitting there. Completeness, seeing the whole picture, not just fragmented things like, I see you're having trouble in school, and then over here you have abandonment issues, and everything's
Jumble.
discombobulated.
Okay.
It should be pretty meaningful. But the reason I did this for the camera was because the clients also have responsibilities. I have had clients come to me, especially coming back into the United States. Not that the United States is bad, but they're so fast-paced. And people would actually sit in front of my face and say, like, test me.
Right.
They would say, tell me something I don't know. And the whole energy was offsetting. So the first thing the client should do is remove those obstacles. You're not here to test the person. You're
Right.
here to open yourself up, to learn something. Drop those barriers.
Good.
Experience, they should be there one-on-one. Experience what happens. Don't just observe. I don't think they're here
So
to
they
back
should
away.
be honest too. They expect you to be honest, but they've got to be honest with
I
you.
think
And
so.
I like that.
I think so. The third thing for the client would be understanding, grasp the meaning of what we're doing, comprehend the process and integrate it within themselves. Again, they're not there to just observe. If something's happening and they're learning something about themselves, well, bring it in and feel it and learn from it. incorporated.
And I do like this last one, to perceive as truth, that we can all change into a different and greater person.
That's right.
And now I think I'd like to have you give Patti a reading.
I'd
All
be
right.
delighted.
I would be delighted to have one.
Okay. Now, I have brought some stones here. I guess we can just reach across the table.
Sure.
I would like you to put your hands on these and put your own energy in there. That's
Okay.
really what it's all about.
Uh-huh.
But I will ask you to think about what I'll tell you to pick each stone. In other words,
All right.
the first stone that you would choose, because there are many different layouts as well. We call them casting the stones,
Uh-huh.
laying them out. I would like to do for you the Wheel of Life.
Okay.
And the first stone that you would choose would be your general situation. We're going to give a nice objective view here. I'm going to zoom in on your energy. But at this point in your life, where you are right now at this time, everything that's happened to you, this point in your life, where are you at? What is your situation? In a very objective way. Choose a stone for that and put it here, if you will. And you can play with them and
Okay.
get the feel.
Are you
That's
going to
very
have
beautiful.
several stones picked?
Yes, this particular layout I quite enjoy for an objective
Okay,
view.
I'm just wondering, it probably will take about 7 or 8 minutes then, won't it?
Yes, I would think
All right,
so.
so we had hoped to do your husband, but I think we're just going to get to do you.
Okay.
Well, we'll see. Maybe
We'll see.
she's a quick
We'll go
study.
quick.
I don't know, all right, we'll see.
But we
Could
could
be.
do many different layouts.
Sure.
All right, we'll do the one you want to do, and we'll see if we
This-
have time.
This stone at the base of your layout today, I would like to ask you to think of where you're coming from. It doesn't necessarily mean your upbringing. Sometimes we see a gift come out of this, meaning a gift of your spirit, obviously, where you're coming from. Sometimes it's just the base of this particular layout. But in your own mind, where are you coming from? What's the base of you? Sometimes it is the past, but sometimes it's your gifts. Just think of where you're coming from. Different than situation, more or less an inner gift. And you will place that right at the base. Very good. This particular section here, I feel is the most important. It's the place of guidance. Sometimes we call it going into the cave of the bear, where they hibernate and go within yourself to find strength of purpose, if you will, where you should be guided at this path, this time in your life. So it really is guidance, something you need to pay attention to, something to meditate on. Think of it open, but something maybe you're missing, something you really need to pay attention to. So choose your stone of guidance.
I'd be very welcome to any information on that.
We all need guidance. Actually,
Yes.
that's very beautiful. The next stone is where you're headed, where your path is taking you. This is where you're coming from.
Right.
Where are you going? Where are you moving to? Where are you headed? What's your future going to be like?
Yeah.
That's a nice one, too.
I'm open to anything.
Good. And the last stone you chose very well. The last stone would be to present yourself in the center. It's interesting how we look at ourselves objectively and how you view yourself. Say, I place myself in the center.
I place myself in the center.
Yes. Excellent. As you noticed, I don't know if the camera gets this or if I don't think so. But I can tell you that your situation in life as we speak is filled with the most beautiful potential of all. You have chosen the stone of pure potential.
It's a blank slate.
It is blank. You can write anything on it that you want.
Wow.
It's like you're the acorn ready to be the mighty oak. You haven't really even tapped into all of your gifts yet, where you're going. This is pure potential. Please put another stone next to that just to clarify it. By the way, that is the most modern of the stones.
Oh.
And it is about being, oh, that's beautiful. This is kind of, if I can verbalize this properly, it's like you looking at life with brand new eyes You're an initiate. We often use this for, you would like this, June, because it's more like the scorpionic energy.
Okay.
Oh, I
that
am a
is-
Scorpio.
Are you?
right.
Well,
So
there
you
you
chose very
go. It's used for that.
Now, can we have Patty leave and have her husband Stephen come here?
If you
All right,
wish.
let's
but
try that.
I will quickly
All right, will you
tell
do-
her
all right, well,
that that's only where she's at. Where she's going is perfect
All right.
growth.
all right.
Oh,
How
boy.
about that? All right, so then
Okay.
we can have you leave and
All right.
we can talk a little bit more about this,
All
Fred.
right.
If she's going to perfect growth.
Perfect growth. Her energy. Her energy is always to open herself up for more growth. She never stops learning.
All right.
Her guidance is the most beautiful of all because it tells her to constantly raise her consciousness up and raise that of other
Okay.
people. She must always raise others' consciousness in pure joy. So she is a healer of sorts.
Well, she is a therapist, a
Oh,
past life
wonderful.
regression therapist, and a spiritual director of Eckankar.
Wonderful.
So that ties in very well.
Very much so. She chose for herself timing, a stone of timing everything properly. So she probably does have a lot of practical edges to her, even though she's such a spiritual being.
Yes.
She times things perfectly, and she needs that in her life. That's what she chose for herself. At the base, and her gifts that she has is very similar to growth, but there's also a kind of defense, meaning she'll defend everything in truth.
Oh,
She
that's
defends her
that's
truth.
lovely.
It is beautiful.
Now,
She's
Steve,
quite a
you're
beautiful
going to get
person.
a reading, and
Yeah.
I guess we just put them all together for
Yes.
Steve.
How do you do?
Good, hi.
We don't. I'm going to hide Patty, so you don't
Okay.
get those.
Oh,
I
because
don't
I like
want
the blank one.
Oh, you want Patty? No, you want Patty's reading. You have to get your own.
Yeah.
Is there a
I
particular
know you will.
area you would be interested in kind of seeing today or getting an objective
Well,
view?
I've always had this feeling like what I'm here to do hasn't happened yet.
All right. That's maybe we will do the what I call the 3-stone layout. Would be more or less your situation, and then your meditation and guidance, and then where you're going.
All right.
And we can work with that. So put your hands on those and get some energy going. And I'd like you to choose your first stone to symbolize where you are at this point in your life. What path are you on now? How are you approaching life at this point? Good. And now I want you to think of some guidance as well. I want you to say, maybe to yourself, what do I need to learn to grow and find my path? As you said, you're not quite there yet. There must be more for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
What must you look at in order to access that? And the last stone would be your outcome or the way you're growing, again, your path, what the future would hold, what you're growing into. Think of where you're headed. Okay, let's take a good look at this. Well, this is excellent because he chose one of the stones his wife chose, and he also raises other people's consciousness. So you're both very spiritual beings. This is a stone of joy, happiness, and mostly of raising consciousness.
And he is with the Eckankar clergy, so
Excellent.
that would be exactly.
That's where you're at in your life. Put another stone next to that if you would, just for clarification. Let's see how we can open that up a bit. Yes. That's already guiding you actually to broaden this spiritual part of you. I'm also seeing a bit of out-of-towners is the word that comes to mind. So not only within the state, I'm seeing you branching out further. It might be on the internet, I'm not sure. It might be in communications, I'm not sure. But I actually see a little traveling involved in this as well. And another building, if you will. I am getting a psychic feeling from this. There will be another building that you will be looking into, another structure. So think about that. But
All right,
it
yeah.
is for your spiritual teachings. Your meditation stone is all about communications. And it fits right in with what I'm seeing with this whole setup here. This is about reaching out, branching out, knocking down barriers, opening up your parameters, because this is growing. All you need to know is that you are the communicator. You need to communicate more. Sometimes I call that stone, it's called Rido, but I call it radio. Because it is talking about communication skills, whether it be the written word or the voice. So that's your guidance. Please put one more stone there. That's really jumping at me. Okay, there are new bridges for you to cross. This is your guidance, don't forget. See if this makes sense to you.
Okay.
You should picture yourself standing on a hillside, and you look back in the valley of all the things that you have done and everything that brought you here to where you are. And then it says, kiss it goodbye, incorporate it, or let it go, and turn around. And again, we're talking about vision. You're the visionary. You're supposed to be expanding yourself. So not going in, you're supposed to be communicating out. Then as you walk forward, you will be walking into a new realm, if you will, but not until you really incorporate everything. You have to know where you stand before you go on. Then you're prepared. But the guidance certainly is about communications. Where you're going is, I find this very beautiful, the way you and your wife have very similar layouts here. She chose a stone of growth, and you chose a stone of movement. So you're both growing and moving and expanding. Everything about your readings is about, you already know what you have. Let's get it out there. Let's expand it. So I would almost tell you right now that whatever it is that you do, I am picking up mostly on your spiritual part of you. But if you also do something very technical, I still feel that there's more to do in both areas.
All right, so you're a communications
communications
and
is
hardware.
right there.
Yeah, matter of fact, just today
Excellent.
I signed a deal to start 2 brand new businesses, which are going
There
national.
you go.
And they're going national.
All right, so
Perfect.
that's
Yeah,
it.
so.
That's certainly
Thank you very
well
much.
done.
Yes.
And you'll still keep moving on.
Yes, that's the
All right.
intent too.
And
That's
those
wonderful.
businesses are going national, and that's a new endeavor for you, because
Yes,
now
it
I
is.
know you have been national with the Eckankar,
That's right.
the spiritual path, and
That's
now
right.
the material
both.
Now the
is
material's
also,
following, yeah.
and probably the spiritual will follow again beside it.
I'm sure of it.
Do you find that many people do have this sense that there's something yet to come
Oh,
when they get
yes.
this kind of a reading? They
That's
know
another
it
thing
themselves.
that
It's
this
almost
talks about, because we're all supposed to be changing and learning and growing, and of course we haven't done everything yet.
and that is
True.
Yeah.
the perceive as truth that we can all change, which must be a part of Eckankar too, that we realize we can change and we can grow.
Absolutely.
And I do like that word, the truth, that we have to come close to the truth for ourselves.
Yes,
What is
yes.
the truth for us?
How else could it be real?
That's right. Yeah. Oh, that ties in so well.
That
With
was
y-
excellent. Only
yes.
5-stone reading.
I know.
Pretty good at it.
Thank
Yes,
you very much.
That you do wonderful, and I do think that that is a divination tool that is
Yes.
very accurate, but it also gives tremendous insight to the person. It's the person can expand and grow themselves, which is what people should do. And I think you hinted on it. Persons come sometimes and they want miracle readings. They want you to tell them what to do.
Right.
But it's the fact that you were already there, and now you see that these are going to be successful and expand.
Isn't that something? And it validates the inner nudges that we get.
Yes, that's right.
very, I appreciate that very much.
This actually is yourself there. The reader only helps to give that objective look or the overview.
That's right. You picked it.
It's you.
Your energy was
That's
there.
right.
And Jeanette interpreted it.
That's
Well, I
correct.
see we've come to the end of the show, and I do thank you, Steve, and Patti Toehill, also for being the clients, receiving such excellent readings from Jeanette Pachota. And Jeanette, thank you for
Thank you,
appearing
June.
on
I
the
loved
show
it.
and that tremendous explanation of the name cards and rune stones. And thank you for viewing us.